Good morning. Today I'm going to be showing you with my assistant how we can make a clay leaf bowl. This is an enormous leaf.
Definitely.
So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be making a clay leaf bowl. It's a really simple one. It comes out really beautiful and you don't need a lot of supplies. So what you do need are
2 drumsticks.
or rolling pins. You're going to need some sort of knife. It doesn't matter what type of knife you have. A ball of clay. It also doesn't matter what type of clay you use. No scissor. And a leaf of some sort.
And I am, of course, going to be using this leaf.
Because
bigger is
better. It's like the size of my head. All right, so we're gonna.
It is.
We're gonna
it's
get.
close to the height, but not. It's more than the.
He's measuring it to his head right now. It's off camera. All right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put all this stuff away, except for our clay. So move that off to the side. Okay.
Oh, my drumstick. Wait, which kind of drumstick is this? The one you eat or the one you use to drum?
Neither. It's a rolling pin. All right. So what you're gonna do is get your clay ready, and you are gonna put it in your hands. And the first thing you want to do is you want to roll it into a sphere. So the way that we roll it into a sphere is I put it in one hand, I put my other hand over it, and I'm just kind of making circular motions with it. My assistant is using the table. This clay is pretty soft, so it's pretty easy to do. You can use a table, whatever you're comfortable with, but generally you're using a circular motion, and you can also kind of push into it to make it into a circular motion, and we're just getting it ready. This clay is already been prepped a bit, so it doesn't really have that many bubbles, so we're not really gonna
worry too much about that.
Worry too much. Thank you. I appreciate your words. Okay.
This is a terrible sphere.
That is not a good sphere. I would agree. Good assessment. Good self-assessment. All right. So I'm getting my sphere shape. It doesn't have to be perfect because
it of course has to be perfect because everything has to be perfect. Well, this is art. Everything has to be exactly perfect. Otherwise,
no, no, it doesn't. Art is one of those things. It's subjective. So, all right. So I'm getting my sphere. There's a lot of movement around on the other side of the table. I'm just using my hands.
The best way to
How's
do this
it going
is
over there?
You take a rolling pin
and
you roll it around like this.
Ignore the nonsense. Ignore the nonsense. The nonsense will stop shortly. Okay, so we both have our spheres done in different ways. And the next thing that we're going to do, and now he's plucking the hair out of his sphere. That's beautiful. So what we're going to do is you're going to take your hand and you're going to take and put the clay in it like you're going to lift off with it. And then you're going to take your other...
Throw it!
We're not throwing the clay. That would not be good, right? So we're going to take our clay, put it in our hand, and then you're going to take your other hand and you're going to press it on top. So what I'm doing is I'm pressing. Okay, I'm squeezing a little bit and I'm pressing and I'm trying to make it like
simply place it on the table and go.
Well, okay. If you're having a hard time doing it this way, you can do it that way. But my one thanks for shedding. My one problem with that is sometimes it does get stuck. I always put paper on the table when I'm working with clay so it doesn't get stuck, but also make sure you're lifting that up. So I'm going to press mine with my hand here. And I'm pressing. I'm going to do it again. He took an enormous ball of clay, so he's going to have to do a little bit more pressing than I will, but he picked also a giant leaf. So I'm pressing it.
Very neat here.
I'm pressing it. I'm pressing it. Until I call this a fat pancake. So you can kind of see about my finger. It's about double my finger's width, and it's a fat pancake.
Okay, I've got a large thin pancake.
He's got a larger thin pancake. So we both have our pancakes. Yep. I'm ready to go to the next part. Okay, so now we're going to use our rolling pins to flatten this out, flatten out our pancake even thinner. Now when you're doing this, you want to keep mindful of the thickness and the thinness of this. If it is thicker than your pinky, the width, you'll end up popping in the kiln. If it is thinner, it'll break. And if you're not using kiln clay, if you're using like Korea air dry or anything like that, it's okay, but still I keep to that guideline because if it is too thin, it still will break. And if it's too thick, sometimes it dries unevenly.
So why is this happening?
You're stuck. Flip it over. It's just wet. There's just wet clay. That's a good question though. So you want to roll it using your hands on the edges of the roller. and then just do a quick roll and then come back. You're almost rolled thin out. So you're going back and forth.
Yeah, so this is only one side. Time to do the other.
And then I constantly flipping over. So I do maybe 2 rolls and then flip over. That was 3.
I must flip it over.
And you want to go in different directions?
The paper. Hashtag save the paper.
My assistant, the gorilla. I wouldn't go much thinner than that, actually. Hold on. There's another. Let's lift.
It's like a pizza.
It is like a pizza. I wouldn't go any thinner. I wouldn't go thinner than.
Oh, God.
I wouldn't go any thinner than that. If you see, wait. Hold on. You can make it more even, but do you see the thickness? It's starting to get a little thin, right? So his pinky's there. So I would stop there. I wouldn't make this any thinner, but I would even out that. Yeah, I have a way to go. So.
Because you're going to use a small leaf.
Okay, so we rolled these out. Now we have slabs. And
Magic, it's done.
Magic, it's done. And then now that leaf might be a little bit big for
It's
like
not
basically.
big. It's not too big.
Wait, hold on.
Don't
Wait.
worry.
Stop before you start pressing it in. So always measure your leaf. Do you want my piece of clay?
No, I'll take this.
Okay. So he's
It's
gonna
good.
he's
I will
gonna
fit
use
the
the giant leaf. If you see how big, it's like insane. This is a humongous leaf. So when you're doing it, find a good spot for it. Make sure it's the most of it you can. I'm gonna take a appropriately sized leaf, which is he's got a maple leaf here. Maybe I'll do this really long chestnut leaf. Now what I'm doing is actually I'm gonna take. There's 2 sides of the leaf. This side is smoother, and this side has bumps in it. You can feel the veins in it. So that's the side you actually want to press.
What do I do?
We could do it again.
No, I'm fine. I'll just vibe with the
Perfection
wrinkles.
in every step. So I have this part where it's got the bumps, and that's actually what I'm going to use. So I'm going to press that. I'm going to place it in my clay. I'm going to get a good idea of where it is. And so before I press
Wrinkling is
it into,
inevitable.
no, wrinkling is not inevitable.
It is.
So I'm gonna just press it in, just smooth my hand over it. I do have a few wrinkles, but it's like if you do have a stem,
It's inevitable.
you're just going to ignore the stem. Okay, so you just want to kind of press it into the clay like that. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is take my rolling pin and just roll it back and forth, and you'll see it's flush with the clay now, so it's like on the same level. There's nothing popping out like that. So the next thing you would do is grab your knife. You have your knife?
And look, it's magically coming.
Okay. His knife magically appeared. Mine was on the table next to me. And what we're gonna do is you're gonna carefully cut out your leaf. When I'm doing this, I save all the scraps and make a pile of them in like one pile. Make sure you're doing that together. So if you because this clay is reusable, and you don't want to waste your clay.
Don't ever waste clay.
Keep on making it into a pile. I squeeze it periodically to keep the moisture in there.
And something to note, since my leaf is bigger, I have to do less effort cutting it out.
Why?
Because there's less clay to cut out.
So now what you're doing now is like this. I would say hold your knife like straighter, and you're kind of drawing into it like that.
Okay.
Okay.
But no,
And
I
it's
have
nice
to do
to cut
less
that.
effort because bigger is always better. Wait, is that actually true?
No. So this is my favorite
Magic,
part.
it's all finished.
Magic, it's finished. We cut out all our outsides. And then what we're gonna do now is
The
my favorite.
satisfying part.
Yeah, the satisfying part.
Just
It's actually
peel
just peeling it off. Now some of the leaves.
I'm honestly just gonna do it bit
You're
by bit.
ripping it. He's ripping it off.
This one.
I'm just gonna lift mine. Hopefully.
Yeah, yours can go off in one piece. I feel like it'll just be easier to do.
Yeah, it did come out nice in
Piece
one
by
piece.
This is the
If you
satisfying.
if you accidentally leave a little bit on, it's not the worst thing in the world. Ooh, that looks really good. That's huge. Okay, so you have your leaf now, and what you would do is you would carefully lift it up off the paper or table. I do recommend paper though; it's so much easier at the end. And you have your leaf now. Oh my goodness!
It's large.
So yours is definitely large. Alright, so you have your leaf like this, And what you want to do, it is a 3D object, so you want to check on its side and check for little edges and stuff that you want to maybe smooth out with your finger. This clay is pretty wet, so I'm not going to add any water to smooth it out, but if your clay is really dry, then you may want to take a little bit of water.
I'm just trying to make the tips look more natural because I didn't have enough room to do the tips.
That's true. That's a really good idea. Make things work for you. So we're just cleaning up. So you guys are going to see the end of this cleanup, and then I'll show you how we form these into bowls. These are going to be beautiful. I can't wait to see how these come out.
Wait, am I supposed to respond to that?
Okay, so the last step, once you've cleaned up the edges, the last step that you're going to do is put it into a bowl that you already have. I like disposable paper bowls. We use them a lot.
Yeah, and just like magic, it falls from the heavens.
So you have your leaf, and I would shape it a little bit so you can actually like hold it. Now it's like nice
I don't think
texture.
I can really shape mine without it flopping back out.
So what you want to do is shape it, like this one on the chestnut one, I'm going to kind of fold it.
Remember,
like
kids,
this.
big is always better. Bigger is always better, not big.
That is not true.
It is.
And then once it's in the bowl, I can reform any little parts that I want. So I definitely want the edges up on both sides.
I can do this.
Oh, that's cool. It's like a little pocket.
Yes.
And then
we can just like connect.
If you are using clay rather than like polymer clay, you can wait a day and just futz with it the next day, play with it. Ooh, I like it. That's like a basket.
Oh, it's a cornucopia is what
a cornucopia. Good, I like that. Nice fall craft. So I'm just kind of playing with this a little bit, and then I would tell you the next day.
Fall?
The next day I would just clean it up even a little bit more.
Best to use is you can take another leaf and put it in there.
It's a leaf holder. Okay, so what we would do at the end is I would leave this to dry for 3 or 4 days, depending on the thickness. This is probably 3 days. And then I would put it in the kiln to fire. This is a low fire clay, so I would cone 05. And then after that was fired, I'd glaze it, and the glaze is going to go really nicely into the grooves right here. It provides a lot of contrast into this. It's really pretty. And then after we cone fire, glaze, refire, you'll have a beautiful bowl. And it's kind of I don't know why he's laughing. And remember, just keep playing, sculpting, and drawing.
Remember to like and subscribe. And also, this is a drumstick holder.
It is not a drumstick holder.
Yes, it is.
Maybe one day it will be. All right, we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.